Razer is one of the premier names when it comes to gaming accessories, but they do make an ultra portable geared towards business users and consumers. I got a chance to check out that very laptop last year in the Razer Blade Stealth. It's a 13-inch ultra portable, and I came away pretty impressed. But I have the updated version, which hopes to correct some of the flaws that were present in last year's model. Hey everybody, this is Andrew, and this is my unboxing and review of the Razer Blade Stealth 13 in gunmetal. Coming up. Want to see more videos like this? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification icon. This way you'll be alerted every time I post a new video. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter to get all the latest updates. The Razer Blade Stealth starts at $13.99 US. It comes in black or, as you see here, gunmetal. Now I chose the gunmetal, and there's a special promotion going on where you get a free pair of Hammerhead Bluetooth headphones, which is a $99 value at no additional cost. The Razer Blade Stealth is powered by the Intel 8th generation processor. It's the Core i7-8550U. It has 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM, and storage options start at 256 gigabytes all the way up to 1 terabyte of SSD storage. And it runs Windows 10 Home, but if you want to upgrade it to Windows 10 Pro, I have a special 22% discount code brought to you from our sponsor for today's video, 0&9. Now the original price is $15.99 for the Windows 10 Professional OEM key, already a fantastic price. But with my 22% discount code, that drops to $12.47, making it an absolute steal. And not only do they sell Windows 10 Professional OEM keys, but they have Steam CD keys as well for PC and Mac. You have PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and Nintendo as well, as far as prepaid cards as well. Need Microsoft Office? Well, they have that too, $32.99. And even better, they've also given a 10% site-wide discount code if you use the code Andrew-M. So head on over to 0&9 to get this really great discounts, and I want to thank 0&9 for sponsoring today's video. Now when I reviewed last year's model, it was the black version with the chroma keyboard that lights up in different colors and also has the glowing logo that lights up in green. This is the gunmetal version, a more understated look, and it doesn't have the colorful chroma keyboard, and it has a very serious look to it, a little bit more sleek in my opinion. But enough about specs, let's see what this device is all about. But first, let's find out what you get in the box. Let's open it up. Packaging is what we've come to expect from Razer the last couple of years. It's a brown box with a triple-headed snake on it. Opening the lid, let's take a look at the power charger. It's a 65-watt charger with a USB Type-C cable. It's a braided cable, which gives you more flexibility and durability in my opinion. Now you also get your unit itself. Opening the lid of that box, you are greeted by a thank you from Razer, and holding the unit for the first time, I am struck by just how sleek looking the gunmetal version is. I like it. You get a cleaning cloth with the Blade logo on it, some stickers, as well as some documentation and warranty information as well. At 1.35 kilograms or 2.98 pounds, this is a thin, light, very portable device. Now, build construction is really first rate, excellent, and you also get that gunmetal color, which I'm a big fan of. It's really sleek looking in my opinion. Now, as far as ports are concerned, here's what you get. On the left side, you have a 3.5mm headset jack, which worked well, no interference and no static. You get a full-size USB 3.0 Type A and one Thunderbolt 3 port, which is USB Type-C, and it's great for connecting to an external GPU, such as Razer's own Razer Core X. And that comes in at $299, which is a pretty good price, but of course you still have to supply your own GPU. And on the right side, you have a second USB 3.0 Type A and an HDMI 2.0 port, which is great for connecting to a 4K monitor as well. Now, as far as the display is concerned, you're looking at a 13.3-inch sharp IGZO display with a QHD plus resolution. That's 3200 by 1800. That's 276 pixels per inch, and it has a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. Now the bezels have slimmed down somewhat from last year's model, although they're not slim in my opinion by 2018 standards. I want to see thinner bezels as you see on the Huawei MateBook X Pro and the like. Now this is a very sharp QHD Plus resolution. This is the same IGZO display as you'd find, say, in a Dell XPS 13, also with that QHD Plus resolution. Unfortunately, this is not a very bright display at 252 nits. I found I wanted it a bit brighter, and when you compare it to some of its competition, this is certainly below average when it comes to brightness. You certainly get a much brighter display with the category leader, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon that I recently reviewed. That came in at 475 nits. It was also beat out by the Huawei MateBook X Pro, the MacBook Pro 2018 that I just reviewed, and the Dell XPS 13 as well. This is certainly fine for indoor use, but you'll have some issues using it outdoors due to that dim display. Now when it comes to the color gamut, you're looking at 95% sRGB, which is below the category average of 112% sRGB, and certainly behind the X1 Carbon's stunning 199% sRGB. But don't get me wrong, this is still a very sharp display with very deep blacks, excellent viewing angles, very sharp colors. I think for the everyday average user, this is really good. But if you're a creative professional who does a lot of Photoshop or some video editing, you'd want to get something with better color range and color gamut. Now when it comes to the keyboard, I actually like it. It has 1.2 millimeters of key travel, which of course is a bit on the shallow side, but I didn't feel like my fingers were bottoming out at any point, and it had pretty good tactile feedback, so I really do like this keyboard. And unlike the black version, which sports a chroma keyboard which has a multicolored backlight, this has a white backlight for more of an understated look, better for the boardroom meetings, that's for sure. But unfortunately, the function keys still don't light up on this version as well, and I don't like that decision because if you're in a dark room, you can't see the function keys, especially when you want to adjust something like screen brightness or volume control. But that's not a deal breaker by any stretch. This is a very good keyboard, especially for an ultralight portable. The 4.1 by 2.5 inch precision touchpad is massive on such a small system. That means there was plenty of space for my fingers to call up Cortana with a 3-finger press or zoom in on a document with a quick pinch to zoom. The bottom corners of the touchpad had firm feedback for a comfortable feel when I was left and right clicking. 2-finger scrolling worked well, and all you Windows 10 gestures worked as advertised. So this is the front-facing camera on the 2018 Razer Blade Stealth. It's a 720p, 30 frames per second webcam. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. I think it's okay. It's certainly pretty good considering you can use it for Skype and video conferencing. I certainly have seen worse on other 13-inch ultra portables. But again, I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. The Stealth's pair of top-mounted speakers are louder than you'd expect. The slim speakers filled the room with a loud, relatively clear audio thanks from an assist from the preloaded Dolby Atmos software. Now let's hear them in action. Now, performance out of the Intel 8th generation processor, the Core i7-8550U, is actually pretty good, but it didn't do quite as well as the Huawei MateBook X Pro or the Dell XPS 13-9370 on the 3D Mark Fire Strike test. And the same could be said for the 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited test. Here it did 76,734, just above average. But it did well on the multi-core score of the Geekbench 4 test, earning a 13,695. That's certainly above the category average of 9,964. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is not a dedicated gaming laptop. This is an ultra portable for other use, but you can do some gaming. Now, it has the integrated Intel UHD 620 graphics. And as you can see from this chart, you can play some older titles, that's for sure. And you can play some more modern games, but it won't be the most optimal experience. For that, I would go with the Razer Core X. Now keep in mind, adding the Razer Core X is an additional $299, and you still have to add your own graphics card. Say you want to do the 1080 Ti, that's going to be another $500, so it starts to add up. But the charm of this and the appeal of this is the fact that you can use this as an ultra portable, come back home, plug it in, and you have a AAA gaming machine. And I think that's the charm in all of this, but then it comes at a heavy price. And it can get hot, as you can see from this chart put together by notebookcheck.net. I think they did a good job in testing the thermals on this device. And it sports a very fast M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD storage. Look at the reads and writes, very good on the Crystal Disk Mark test results. Unfortunately, things aren't so great when it comes to battery life. It has a 53.6 watt-hour battery, and on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits, it lasted only 5 hours and 35 minutes, well below the category average of 8 hours and 5 minutes, and that's not good. Consider that you'll get over 10 hours on the Huawei MateBook X Pro, and on the ThinkPad X1 Carbon that I recently reviewed, you're looking at over 10.5 hours. But the good news is that if you do need to plug in, it doesn't take long. In fact, thanks to the 65-watt charger, it only took about 56 minutes to get an 80% charge, and a full charge you're looking at an hour and 55 minutes, and that's pretty good. Now, as far as what's user upgradable, the RAM is soldered on, so that 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM is what you're stuck with. You cannot upgrade it, but you can upgrade the SSD, although I don't know why you would, as there was some excellent reads and writes on this M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. Now, I didn't experience any coil whine. I know some people did on last year's model, but as far as this model is concerned, with my experience with it so far, that has not been an issue at all. So to bring it home, the Razer Blade Stealth is a very frustrating device. On the one sense, you get a really nice QHD Plus display, really good looks with that gunmetal finish, really sleek, really lightweight. You also get fast performance from the SSD and fast performance out of the 8th generation Intel processor. But there are some deal breakers for some. The biggest one being is the below average battery life, barely getting 5.5 hours, which is to me unacceptable in mid-2018. You also get some large bezels compared to some of its competition, and I find it's very expensive at $16.99 depending on the unit you choose. But if you're looking for a stylish productivity laptop that can moonlight as a gaming system with an external GPU, you'd be hard-pressed to do better than the Razer Blade Stealth. I'm going to give it an 80%, making it worth your money. So what do you think about the Razer Blade Stealth 13? I actually like it. Now, first off, I love this gunmetal color. It shows much less fingerprints than the black version, so that's something to keep in mind. I also love its understated look. There's no glowing logo on this one. There's no multicolored keyboard. It's a little bit more suited for the boardroom and for meetings and for more business environment, which a lot of people would want, especially in an ultra portable. But it really has some upgraded performance with that Core i7-8550U 8th generation Intel processor. You're looking at about a 40 to 50% boost in performance over last year's model. You no longer get a 4K display option. You get a 13.3 inch QHD Plus, that's a 3200 by 1800 resolution, which is perfectly fine in a 13.3 inch form factor. The 4K I think is a bit overkill in this size. But nonetheless, having said that, it is a nice display, although it is a very dim display at 252 nits. I felt it could be brighter, especially when you compare it to some of its competition. It's also not cheap at about $16.99 for the model I got. It starts at $13.99, a lot to pay for a ultra portable, considering that if you want to do some gaming, serious gaming on this, you'll also have to invest in an eGPU, such as Razer Core X that they do offer. But the draw on this is the fact that you can have an ultra portable laptop. When you're on the go, it's thin and light, but when you come home or in your office, you can plug in to that external GPU, get extra horsepower to do some video editing or some high-end performance stuff, or even some AAA gaming. But the fact of the matter is, this is subpar battery life. That's something to keep in mind. I only got a little bit more than 5.5 hours, which really is not good here mid-2018. We're seeing other laptops push over 10 hours, aka all-day battery life. This definitely doesn't have all-day battery life. So if you really need something for longevity, I would look elsewhere. But I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in that comment section below. So please hit the like button, please subscribe, please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. And don't forget to check out 0&9, today's sponsor, where you can get 22% off Windows 10 Pro upgrade. That's a great savings. And not only do they sell Windows 10 professional OEM keys, but they have Steam CD keys as well for PC and Mac. You have PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, and Nintendo as well, as far as prepaid cards as well. And don't forget, there's also a site-wide discount, 10% off if you use the code Andrew-M. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, and of course my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.